Ugh, you said you were over him, but his hoodie is still in your rotation. It's time. Grab your phone, snap a few pics, and sell it on Depop. Listed in minutes, with no selling fees. And just like that, a guy 500 miles away just paid full price for your closure. And right on cue.
Hey, still got my hoodie?
Nope, but I've got tonight's dinner paid for. Start selling on Depop, where taste recognizes taste. List now with no selling fees. Payment processing fees and boosting fees still apply. See website for details.
Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings,
Why are you listening to this show?
the podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Le Batard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
In fact, the only difference seems to be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's fries that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now, here's the marching man to nowhere, Fat Face, and the habitual liar.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings! The crown is yours.
Proud of yourself?
10 count. Look at that. We got fireworks on the screen.
All right, we did it, everybody. We made it to Friday. Oh, Friday's got a feel to
You
it.
just got here.
Made it to Friday.
It is a weird.
You're fly
It's your
fishing
Monday.
yesterday.
This is your Monday.
TGIF.
It is like a really weird move that I used to make fun of. One of my former co-hosts in local radio, Brett Romberg, used to pull this move where Romberg would be on vacation and he would miss the week, but he'd come back on Friday and he would do the show. It's like, why are you back? Like,
I had that thought when I heard you were coming in today.
right? It's a weird move that I just
So
pulled.
you're just biting off the wrong.
You could have so easily just gone home and kept your schedule.
Oh, okay. So
Team
that,
guy.
That speaks to my character, right? I thought I was supposed to be
Hates
back.
his family.
I was supposed to be back on Friday. Left one of my kids home. I was supposed to be back on Friday, but we came back a day early. So I was like, you know what? I can come in and work. That speaks to my character. Okay. Thank you for acknowledging that. Jessica, would you like to acknowledge that as well?
I would acknowledge that I thought you meant your character on the show, which I was going to say, what character? But now I realize you meant your character is in your moral upstandingness.
That's right.
And that I also don't know very much about. So.
Do you have an arena or stadium, Jess, that you had heard great things about? You got to go visit it. You got to catch a game there, and then you went and it was a dump.
Okay, I wouldn't say dump, but I didn't love Jerry World. I got to be honest.
Wow.
Too big. It's just too big. It's just too big. But I also went for a college football game, which not a college football stadium. So.
All right. Women's Final Four tonight. Help me out here, okay? Because
Help him.
Like I know you follow it closely. I follow it on the periphery. You know the deal. I do shows at ESPN, obviously.
You know the deal?
No. What I mean by that? No.
You're wearing a backwards hat?
What I mean by that is I do shows on ESPN, so I have to know what's going on.
I'm
That's
a
what I
40-plus
mean.
white male. You know the deal.
That's what I mean. All right.
I tell my wife to calm down.
But help me out here. Jess, I don't know if
I
you're
do know
aware.
your character
That never
now,
works.
so.
That never works. Telling the wife to calm down never works. All right. Anyway, tonight is the women's Final Four. But help me out here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, has there been a day yet in this women's tournament where it's like, wow, we had a great slate of games today?
I feel like there's been really great games, but the best four teams that have been the best four teams this whole season, that were the best four teams at the end of last season, have just been a step above the teams behind them. So the great games, I would say, have been mostly amongst those teams with themselves. And so last weekend, the Elite Eight games were all, I wouldn't say they were all like huge blowouts. I'd say like the Texas-Michigan game was a huge blowout, but like some of them were close, but you could obviously tell like the better team was going to win by 15 to 20 points. But I would say like between, like the 5th to 25th ranked teams and beyond that, there were some really good games in the mix. There's just four teams this year that were so much better than everyone else.
So tonight, like, we fully expect then.
We're getting games tonight.
Like,
buddy.
these two games
so,
tonight
yeah.
are going to be games.
I think so. I think the UConn South Carolina game right now, I saw the point spread was like 4.5 points, 5.5 points, something like that. So like that's pretty close.
6.5, 6.5, yeah.
6.5. Okay. UCLA Texas was like 1.5.
Yeah.
That's the later game. So I think UConn South Carolina, I'm really happy that's a Final Four game and not a potential championship game, because that was what the championship game was last year. I think this is a really exciting game because South Carolina is kind of the underdog, and like they're just never really the underdog. This has been a dynasty program under Don Staley for the last decade plus. And right now, UConn's coming in as the team with has not lost a game yet this season, but also like UConn, if UConn makes it to the Final Four and loses, the season's a failure, right? So like they've got a lot to lose, and South Carolina can kind of play spoiler to that.
But Jess, this is the championship game, right? The winner of this whole thing will come out of UConn USC.
I wouldn't say so. I think, UCLA is really, really good. UCLA has won some tough games this year. I think there was a modest debate whether or not UCLA and UConn should have been the overall 1 seed. They have Lauren Betts on their team, who's a 6'7" center. She's really good. Kiki Rice, who's going to be a lottery pick. Yeah, I saw that.
Really?
Kiki Rice is going to be a lottery pick in the WNBA draft. And then Texas has Madison Booker. They've been playing really well. They're coming back. They beat South Carolina in the SEC championship game, less than a month ago. So obviously we know they can go head-to-head with South Carolina. So I wouldn't say that necessarily. I would kind of say that about the men's Final Four. But I think Arizona and Michigan, whoever wins that game, I probably would make them, my favorite to win the championship. But you never know.
UConn, it wasn't that long ago when they were doing literally all the winning. It was really easy to root against Ariema. They always have all the star players. But now, even with them undefeated, I don't feel that way. Like, is it still like that most everyone roots against this big UConn machine?
I would say, well, for me as a Notre Dame fan, yes. Like, I obviously don't like UConn. They're a rival of Notre Dame. But I would say people have said that since the 8-year title drought, Gino has softened. He's become kind of like a little like grandpa figure. And so he's a little easier to, more palatable for people that aren't UConn fans to root for him now. I'd say like Paige Beckers as one of the coolest college women's basketball players in a long time certainly helped his popularity with a lot of people, including me. I was like, damn, I don't like UConn, but Paige is pretty cool. She's a cool lady. But I think still they're, I would say from the average fan, it's more boring if they win. If they just steamroll through everyone, steamroll through the Final Four, steamroll through the championship game, I think most people would say, Zaz, like that's kind of a boring outcome. It'd be cool to see like Texas and UCLA. They were in the Final Four last year, but before that hadn't been to a Final Four in over 4 decades. Mm-hmm. So it'd be kind of cool to see some new blood, even though they're, like I said, 2 of the best teams this season by far. They're somewhat, new to the Final Four, and it would be a big deal for either of them to win a championship. So I don't know, might make people a little bit more excited.
So the women's Final Four is tonight, gets going at 7:00, and the next one is at 9:30. Tomorrow, the men's Final Four. Is it like, am I being dopey if I wonder why aren't they? I guess essentially
during the day.
No, maybe not necessarily.
They're too late, Zaz. They're too late. I'm sorry. The second game's out at like 9:30. What are we doing?
No. That's what I mean. So
that's what I mean.
Tomorrow with the men's Final Four, am I being dopey for not understanding why they don't reseed the men's Final Four once we get to the Final Four? You have 1 versus 1 and 2 versus 3. Like, am I missing something there where, like, I guess it's easy enough where, all right, this side of the bracket plays this side, like, that's how they do it. But why don't they reseed instead of us having 2 number 1s face each other tomorrow and a 2 versus a 3? Like, why isn't it 1 versus 2, 1 versus 3?
Because that would ruin your office bracket pool. I mean, don't keep it simple, stupid. This is what I'm not even joking. One of the things I'm the most concerned about if they do expand, which a lot of people think is inevitable, and there will be expansion of the NCAA tournament in the near future. More games, more teams. There's going to be more games like Tuesday, Wednesday, and then fewer teams in the full bracket, I guess. I read an article about it. I don't want to overcomplicate things, but my biggest concern is it's going to F with people's brackets, because the selection show, if it's on Sunday, now you got to do a bracket by Tuesday. And then if you got all these play-in games, how are you going to select the next round if there's so many games contingent upon who wins the play-in game? And then is that going to ruin the entire like fun communal aspect of filling out a bracket at work? Okay, so like I'm concerned.
So I totally hear what you're saying, and it sounds like you're probably right about that. But that's stupid then, if we're basing like how we're going to format the tournament. Instead of trying to make it the best possible competition, we have to make sure everyone can pick their brackets. That's dumb.
I think really, to answer your question, is like, this is This is the format that we've selected, right? Just the straight bracket, no reseeding. You get the luck of the draw in some instances in your region, and then if there's a huge upset in another region, you might be lucky. That might help you out, and that's kind of how it works. In some years, the team that wins the tournament might not have been the best team in all of college basketball, and that's okay because they won the tournament how it's set up. And you have to deal with it.
Zaz, we've been doing this for 1 billion years. Everyone loves it.
Well, I prefaced it with am I being dopey? All right, I said that.
No, you're being dopey.
If I preface what I'm going to say with am I being dopey, I'm asking you as a question. I can then say whatever I want to mean.
Well, no. Well, you still get called a dope, though, at the end of it.
All right. Well, it was a question.
Jessica.
Thank you, Amin. I needed a little backup there.
You're welcome. I've been tripping all morning long over seeing this video of Tiger Woods.
Oh, God.
Cops call him over, and he does the nonchalant. Sorry, I was talking to the president. We actually had a spirited debate on whether he could have been talking about the president of his homeowners association or maybe of a car dealership nearby. What was your reaction when you saw not only what he said, but how he said it? And we got the video here so we could roll it.
Say again? Just keep you down here with us, please. Yeah, I was just talking to the president.
Oh my!
The hand flip. The hand flip where he's just like, no big deal.
This thing here,
douchey.
Connected to power.
You guys know who he's dating, right?
Yeah, dating.
Yeah,
who's dating?
Oh, you guys. He's
Don
dating
Jr.'s
Don
ex.
Jr.'s ex-wife, Vanessa Trump.
Really?
Yeah, but also even before that, obviously tight.
Right.
He won
Very tight.
some award from the president. Obviously,
I think
friendly.
he won the Medal of Freedom.
Medal of Freedom. Yeah. I wanted to respect it, and they go golfing.
I didn't know you were doing a thing there. I just forgot what it was called. Yeah, they're buddies. So I think he really did mean the president, and I'm assuming that he said that to. The cops already knew he was Tiger Woods. I'm assuming, but I assume that he name dropped the president to try to be like, you guys like that guy, right? Like we're all.
Well, does that help? Because the cops definitely know he's Tiger Woods. If you know he's Tiger Woods and you're not about to let him off, isn't there nothing Tiger can do at this point to get off then?
That's one hell of a Hail Mary.
I would assume that's the case, Zaz. I would assume, and given how I read some of the transcripts, I watched some of the body camera stuff, the officer who arrested him was like, I can't let you go. You don't seem okay.
I have to do the right thing.
Maybe if this was a borderline case, but again, I wasn't there. I don't know. I've just seen the videos and he did not seem well.
Have you seen the memes made of the picture?
I've seen every meme of him kneeling down where he looks like a high school football coach breaking a huddle.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Breaking a huddle or breaking it to the little league team that they're not getting new cleats for the season. That's my personal.
The ET one. The ET ones are the best. ETs are the best.
Yeah, it's a bad situation, but yeah, that did not make him look good. And now it's April 3rd, and we've gotten 2 DUI videos of celebrities on our timelines. The Justin Timberlake one. I mean, did you see Justin Timberlake?
I saw
that
it.
one.
I saw it, but I thought I saw it when it happened. This was a year ago or so, maybe even longer.
It was a while ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
You saw one part of it. You saw just the clip of him standing outside of the car and maybe for just a moment walking. But this was, it felt like we were getting the extended version.
Oh yeah, we got the director's cut. He's in He's in the station. He's filling out the form. It says race white, which I thought was wow.
That was great.
He's a showman.
He could be shitty. It could be a terrible moment, but that's a showman turning it on.
That's the charm.
Have you ever watched a movie and then you watched the director's cut and you're like, whoa, director's cut, so much better?
I've seen both. I've seen director's cut so much better. I've seen. Yeah, the studio was right.
That's one, Lord of the Rings. The director's cut's better, and the studio was right.
Absolutely. Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings, the director's cut is
I don't think I've ever seen Lord of the Rings director's cut.
4.5 hours long.
Oh my God, it's so long. The Return of the King is so long.
How does the director,
literally 4.5 hours.
when he makes the movie, before the studio tells him you got to cut it down, how does he think then 4.5 hours is an acceptable movie to put in theaters?
Because I don't know.
The paycheck
they
says
filmed all that stuff. They want to use it. They spent a lot of money on that scene with the Sauron, the mouth of Sauron. They want to put that in the movie.
Hello, listeners and friends. Boy, the feedback on that night that I had with my good friend Mo Chetta while we were drinking Miller Lights watching hoops, it's been outstanding. So much so that we've decided to do it again. That's right. I'm going to pick up the phone and call up my good buddy Mo Cheddar and say, hey, this college hoops tournament is still roaring. Why don't you come over? And on your way over, pick up some Miller Lite anywhere they sell beer, and let's put those bad boys on ice. I'm going to take that first sip. I'm going to look at Mo Cheddar and say, you know what? We made the right call. Next thing you know, we'll be fully locked in. Somebody's pacing. Someone else is doing their live bracket math like it's a job. That's why you reach for Miller Lite. Just 96 calories and 3.2 carbs, the original light beer since 1975, and it still hits different. Cheers to legendary moments with Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
In sports, championships aren't won alone. They're won with the right people around you. That's exactly what Intuit TurboTax brings to taxes. With TurboTax Expert Full Service, match with a dedicated tax expert who handles your taxes from start to finish. The experience is seamless. Start in person, finish online, move between both whenever needed. The dedicated tax expert keeps things updated every step of the way, so nothing falls between the cracks. Think of it like having a great head coach with a solid game plan. The plays are called, adjustments are made, and the work gets done while everyone stays focused on what actually matters. And just like game film doesn't wait for business hours, neither do taxes. With TurboTax Expert Full Service, you can get any tax question answered at no extra cost, even on nights and weekends during tax season. This is having someone in your corner running the whole operation and helping put points on the board. Get started at TurboTax.com. Only available with Intuit TurboTax Full Service experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
Hey, Roy, buddy.
Yo.
You know that energy shift when the game gets good and everybody, all together, in unison, knows to stand up on their feet?
Oh, absolutely, Mike.
Yeah, you've been at many big-time sporting events. You know that moment quite well. That's what it's like when you take your first sip of Cuervo.
Oh, delicious.
It's the signal that says, we're not checking the time anymore, pal. It's when small talk turns into stories. Cuervo, man, it's that high-five a random stranger effect. That's right. The game is popping. You're hugging people you never met before. That's the kind of energy that Cuervo brings. It's so smooth, so delicious. That's the Cuervo effect. Keep it Cuervo.
Don Le Batard.
Mr. Shirt, if I may say for a second. Miami, they were simulating the snap count the entire game, and they were clapping at the line of scrimmage. And the only thing I want to see clapping are them cheeks on Mrs. Met in my face, Mike Shirt. All right, so that's one thing.
Stugotz.
They're a bunch of cheaters, Dan. And you know who should be cheating? Mrs. Met on Mr. Met. And he can watch if he wants.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
I do think that there's like one really good example of the director's cut totally changing the movie experience, making a bad movie something that's at least tolerable.
What?
Don't say Justice League.
No. not the Snyder cut. It's Miami Vice.
Miami Vice.
Yeah.
Really?
The
Mike loves the director's cut.
The director's
this is
cut
lore.
of Miami Vice is much better.
Do they still know a good place to get mojitos?
You bet your ass.
Okay, so director's cut was so much longer, or like
it's
it was
longer, but like so famously, there were all sorts of problems on the set. Jamie Foxx at one point quit the film, which is why the movie is almost the one that was in theaters. Jamie Foxx is like barely in it.
Oh, really?
So it does plug a few holes in it, and it makes it shouldn't have been Miami Vice. And I think Michael Mann even said, like in one quote, he's like, I just wanted to do this cop movie, and the only way that I can get the studio to do it was by saying I'm returning to the Miami Vice franchise. But it's not a Miami Vice movie. It's way too dark. If you get that out of your mind, it's actually like a not bad cop movie.
I don't know that I don't know that I do director's cuts. And I say that because obviously I've seen the, studio version first, and I don't then go back and watch the director's cut because I feel like then the whole movie, I'm only just looking out for the stuff I didn't see
I'm
previously.
with you.
Like, it's not a real experience.
I'm with you, too, because, like, with the Snyder Cut, like, okay, I'm going to give you another chance to disappoint
That's a whole
me.
different movie, though.
Yeah, but... And I had to be convinced to do the Miami Vice thing, but the internet was really insistent, like, no, it's actually not that bad if you watch the director's cut, and I can kind of confirm.
But you know what I'm saying?
I'm kind of with you because I do get that paranoia. Like, that wasn't in the original version. And someone said, yes, it was. Like, oh, yeah, my bad, it was.
Guys, just let the movie wash over you. Don't think about it too hard.
Yeah, I guess so. Mike, can you tell me what happened at the Washington Wizards, because I was away this week, and I caught everything that happened, but there were some things that slipped through the cracks.
Mike, sit this one out. I got this.
What happened at the Wizards game?
I am fascinated. So
this is the most, I thought of you immediately when I saw this.
So they had a contest. Oh, shoot a half-court shot blindfolded. If you make it, you win $10,000.
On April 1st.
On April 1st. And so they got the guy down there, he's blindfolded, and then all the mascots, sometimes they invite mascots from other sports and other
Usually
leagues.
when it's your mascot's birthday.
Yeah, they do that a lot.
Yeah.
So they're all there, and they're like, here we go, 1, 2, 3, and the guy, of course, misses it horribly. Although
Can I ask you something real quick, though? Can you hold on for a second? When they do the mascot birthday party, let's say it's the Atlanta Hawks mascot's birthday party. They want to invite Bernie.
Yep.
Does the actual Bernie get on a plane and go?
He probably makes so much more money for that appearance than he does his normal.
Who else would?
Put a pin in it. I will explain that whole world.
Okay, you'll come back to me.
I know all about the mascots.
Put a what in it?
Pin place.
A pin.
Oh, pin. Okay. I heard
Pin it.
All right.
So the guy, of course, misses it horribly, but he's blindfolded. So everyone cheers like, hey, we're going to cheer. Oh, my God, you made it. And they give him the big novelty check, and he's jumping up and down, and the mascots are celebrating. And then the in-arena host says, wait a second, let's watch the video again. And it shows him missing. Like, oh, sorry, check's not yours.
Now, what's the crowd doing during all of this?
Well, they were cheering when it's like, hey, because
they played along.
This is a Wizards game. Let's be clear.
Yeah,
not much of a crowd.
Crowd is...
Okay. Crowd's not really a part of
the story. But they were told to kind of play
continue.
along?
Yes, they played along, and then they pulled the check, and then people booed or whatever. And so it's not even the first time that's been done.
And it's outrage. Everyone's outraged.
Outraged to the point where the Wizards had to release a statement on April 2nd. Quote, we apologize for last night's April Fool's joke that left many wondering if we had misled a fan. The skit involving our mascot and other members of our performance team was scripted and intended to celebrate the day. All participants were in on the joke, but we missed the mark. Our fans are our priority, and we continue to be committed to providing a positive experience to all who attend our games.
There had to be a heated debate, in the Wizards, high up, we're not releasing that, right? We're putting that out?
I 100% can guarantee you, Chris, not only was there a debate, but at one point, someone said, yo, is it worth your job to fight for this? And then, all right, just put it out. And that's the argument that went up.
They missed the mark,
What's the mark?
Everybody there is the mark. That's the whole point.
Yes. So
it's April Fool's
because
Day.
it seemed like the joke was on the guy who missed the shot the whole time, right?
Yes.
He thought he won $10,000,
but he was in on it.
It turns out the joke was on everyone else who thought it was a real skit, and I feel like in that case, they kind of got us. It's kind of pretty good. Why are they apologizing?
But Jessica, first of all, it's 2026. Why are we still falling for things on April 1st?
They should have ended that statement with this was all an April Fool's. We don't even mean this.
It's not an apology.
April Fool's, he was a real fan.
Second of all, my first job in basketball was working game ops. And so we would do this stuff all the time. So let me tell you something. The thing where there's a fan of the other team and the mascot comes with the cake and then he trips
That's real,
up.
right?
Nope.
Oh.
That guy works for the team. They bought a jersey from the other team just for him to have a cake mushed in his face. All of these things are made up. Hey, when there's hey, which one of these trivia questions is the answer? You know what we do right before we go on air? We tell the guy the answer.
What about when they do the kiss cam and the guy goes to kiss a girl and she says no, so then she turns to the guy next to him and they kiss? That's real, right?
You like that one?
Also manufactured. Here's one of my favorite ones because Tom Habistrow, the great Tom Habistrow, did not know this. When they do the loud meter, guys get louder.
You're lying now.
Because the crowd gets louder.
Wow, that's not a meter. That's just a video.
Zaz, you like the cuck kiss cam?
No,
I would never be a part of the cuck kiss cam.
You like the cuck kiss cam?
Never. I would never be a part of that.
So when it comes to the mascots, this is all it's a secret society. They all know each other, right?
What?
And
big group chat.
The whole thing rests on, hey, when you invite me, hey, when we're gonna do this birthday, whatever, flight, hotel, and a nice appearance fee. So they all are incentivized to do it because, oh yeah, my team's on the road. Hell yeah, I'm gonna get on a flight, go to Washington, hang out.
But you're saying that as if the mascot is in charge of the finances.
No, they are in charge. First of all, the mascots are incredibly well paid, right?
The Denver mascot makes like $600,000 a year.
Dude, they're incredibly well.
You didn't know that?
They do
Why
so
would
much
I
in
know
the
that?
Because you know a lot of stuff. You got a big head.
Yeah, they when I worked with the Panthers, the guy that was like Stanley C. Panther was also in charge of like some operations and logistics. They are so involved in the community. They go to all these events. Everyone just assumes like, Denver's mascot just repels, and that's all he does on game days. He works like 3 days a week.
I think I assumed he was an hourly employee.
Big cake behind him, and that's all they do.
Harry the Hawk in Atlanta not only was like crazy paid, but he had his own separate mascot company. So if you wanted like the Chick-fil-A cow to show up, and then cow and
he
chicken,
cornered the market on Atlanta mascots.
All of them had to come through his company. You want to book mascots, you got to go through him.
It sounds very mafioso.
I'm telling you, it's a secret society, man.
Mascot mafia.
Man, a Netflix documentary right there.
So you're telling me, like, Bernie, when he makes these appearances, he's actually flying out to these other arenas.
Absolutely.
In uniform.
But who else would it be? I'm confused. You think they just ship the uniform
You
down?
think they're renting a Bernie? No,
You think
no.
every arena has all the mascot suits to just put someone in it?
I like the idea that
there's dozens of Otto the Oranges laying around?
No, I like the idea that he would look like the Bobo mascot that you get in like Times Square, and you know it's like they're really dressed down.
There's a ponytail coming out of it. What's going on there?
It's Ernie.
Little gut coming out under the shirt.
That's right. I like that.
Oh, no, man. And you ask, like, they all have these budgets for these things, like Bernie's birthday or whatever. And so they know, hey, I'm going to take care of my people because it comes back around. And again, they know all of them across sports, baseball, football, hockey, everything.
I love the idea of like some mascot like off duty listening to our show right now and just feeling alone because they don't have a lot of friends. And Amin's telling you that they all hang out, and he's like,
No, I think
I don't hang out with any of the other mascots.
they're probably like, Amin, shut up.
Right?
Giving away the
supposed to
game.
stay
The
in
Atlanta
the
guy.
club.
Speaking of the Atlanta guy, Jess, I don't know if you saw this or heard this. So the Hawks played the Magic 2 nights ago. It was on Wednesday nights. The Hawks never lose, so they blew out the Magic. First, before I get into this, like, can the Hawks win a series?
Yeah, absolutely.
So they're like a real team.
Yeah, absolutely.
How?
They defend. They're versatile. They make threes. They're very well coached, contrary to the beliefs of Dan Batard. And like, they've got some vets. They got everything. They got a little bit of everything. Not enough
They
to
got
go
Mike
deep.
Bray.
Yeah, they got Mike Bray on the bench. That's right.
I mean, they're like
Golden
they are entrenched. They're the 5 seed. Now they're not going to catch 4, but they're
Cleveland's worried though.
Yeah,
they're 4 games up.
No, I'm saying Cleveland worries a 4-5.
to play them.
Oh,
Yeah.
And by the way, if you play Detroit, and who knows what Cade's going to look like in the second round, like you hope he's back and he's fine, but
That's pretty
if
wild.
he's not, like, hey man,
Is that a big indictment on Trae Young?
that they are this much better after losing him? Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Folks, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 sportsbook for live betting, is built for March. The tournament is unpredictable, but the rewards are guaranteed. And DraftKings is delivering some of the most generous rewards in the market. New to DraftKings? Bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code DAN. That's code DAN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets instantly in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org on behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas. Wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. Limited time offer.
Protein is now at Starbucks, and it's never tasted so good. You can add protein cold foam to your favorite drink or try one of our new protein lattes or matcha. Try it today at Starbucks.
America leads the world in medicine development. It matters. We get new medicines first, nearly 3 years faster. 5 million Americans go to work because we make medicines here at home. And not relying on other countries keeps us safe. But China is racing to overtake us. Will we let them, or will we choose to stay ahead? When America leads, America cures. Let's tell Washington to keep us in the lead.
Learn how at americacures.com. Paid for by Pharma.
Don Batard.
I don't like Smetty either.
Stugotz.
Women stay home in the kitchen where they belong.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz.
A couple of nights ago, Hawks and Magic. And there was, you may remember the Hawks radio voice. Mike Ryan, you may remember, right? Years ago.
The street stuff.
It was the 2009 postseason where the Hawks played the Heat in the first round, and James Jones mixed it up with someone for the Hawks. And
this was like one of the worst 7-game series of all time.
Every game was a blowout.
Yeah.
NBA TV, right?
It was all
Every
NBA
game
TV.
was a blowout.
It was a 7-game series.
I
None
flew
of them
to
were good.
Atlanta for Game 7.
It was a
to
bad
watch
game.
the Heat get smoked on a Sunday afternoon in Game 7. I went to that game. It was awful.
Yeah, and we were still trying to compete, but position for like the pie in the sky big three.
Right. We were 2 years in front of the summer of 2010.
Yeah.
And so
Jermaine O'Neal got us.
Right. And Jermaine O'Neal didn't play in Game 7. He had a concussion. So anyway, that was the series where there was a bit of a scuffle early in the series. Maybe it was like Game 3 or Game 4, something like that. Steve Holman is the Atlanta Hawks radio voice. He's been their voice for like 30 years. He's like an institution there. But he's kind of a crazy person. And you may remember back then, the Miami Heat have resorted to thuggery. And just on and on. Oh, here it is.
Play it.
Now down low, it's going to be Al Horford. He drives. He goes up and gets knocked out hard. Oh, my goodness. The Heat have resorted to thuggery. And Al Horford slow to get up. Miami, they're down by 19, and they have to resort to the street stuff. That should be a flagrant foul. These Miami Heat players are street thugs.
Damn.
Dan is so mad we're talking about this without him.
That sounds like the 1960s.
Does.
Right.
He's got that kind
Can
of
you
voice.
replace Al Horford with a different player's name?
One of the funnier parts of it is the way that he says, the Miami Heat are down by 19. It feels like he's, like in today's game, you're down by 40.
Yeah.
You know? Saying they're down by 19, they're down by 40.
It was like
so
the
they
Lakers
have to
game
resort
last
to the
night.
street stuff. Right. That's what 19-point
I had the Lakers
deficits
+9.
were like back then. So that is Steve Holman, and that is not an isolated, occurrence, that type of call. So 2 nights ago, Jess, Orlando was facing Atlanta, and Goga Batadze of Luka Doncic, I will F your entire family fame. Goga Batadze committed a hard foul and on someone from Atlanta, and here was the call.
Jalen in the lane, get it knocked away, but it goes right to Jonathan Kuminga. Now to Jock, who goes up and got fouled hard. Jock Landale just got knocked down. A terrible, dirty play by the Orlando Magic. This is what they do. They just knocked down Jock Landale and hurt him badly. Oh, my goodness. Somebody should get thrown out of this game. What a dirty, rotten team this Orlando Magic is. Oh, my goodness gracious. Jock Landale got knocked down hard. Dyson Daniels wanted to go over and help him. Pray to God that Jock Landale is not hurt badly, folks. That was a dirty, rotten play by Orlando. I don't care what anybody says or anybody replays on this one. This is a dirty, rotten team. They get down by 30 points, and this is what they do. They are dirty, rotten players, every one of them on that team. Can't take the losing. The Hawks are going to be 4-0 against this team. They whine and complain on everything, and then they go to dirty, rotten tactics. Batadze has no business even being in the league. Goga Batadze should be thrown out of the game, thrown out of the league for a play like that. He is a no-talent, dirty, rotten player. They're going to come over and look at this. They better throw him out on a flagrant 2. There's no doubt that this should be a flagrant 2. If they call anything else, it's wrong.
The prior foul's under review for a potential flagrant foul.
No kidding. Thank you very much, Ed Malloy, Mr. Obvious.
This guy's goated, dude. I love this guy.
Awesome.
No kidding.
Man,
guess
I've
he didn't
never
like
heard
it.
someone under the age of 90 say dirty rotten. That is an old man's phrase.
Like when he says Goga Batadze should be thrown out the league, like at that point, you question whether or not it's a real call. And yes, that is a real call. That was the Atlanta Hawks radio 2 nights ago. By the way, Goga Batadze, the player who Jock Landale, the player who he hurt, got up and walked off under his own power.
The prior foul's under review for a potential flagrant foul.
No kidding. Thank you very much.
Unbelievable.
He called Ed Malloy Captain Obvious. Could there have been a funnier ref name to say in that moment than Ed Malloy?
It's a good one.
It's perfect. Oh, my God. I do like also his adjustment, right? Like 20 years ago, it was They're down by 19, and that's like insurmountable.
Yeah,
now,
right.
The new conversion rate is they're down by 30.
Right. And it's because the Magic are 0-4 against Atlanta this year, so they're a dirty, rotten team.
7 times he said dirty, rotten.
Yeah, they are dirty, rotten players, every one of them on that team. Can't take the losing. The Hawks are going to be 4-0 against this team. They whine and
I love that every last one of them. And also the idea that, like, I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what you replay. Like, he's basically waiting for this to be played on.
He knows it's going to get clipped.
Yeah.
Like, every player, like, the Wagner brothers, I could see you saying they're dirty. Desmond Bain, he's got a little bit of that. But there's not one guy on the team who's not dirty rotten.
Anthony Black, you're dirty.
Not one guy is not dirty rotten.
You're dirty.
Jalen Suggs, get out of here.
Right. Jalen Suggs seems like a nice guy. Dirty rotten. Every one of them.
Jess, I heard a rumor that Hershey is changing the recipe to Reese's, but the thing that shocked me was the headline said they're changing it back. And I said, I never knew they changed it to begin with.
Well, we talked about this on the show because a few months ago, the Reese's heir, like the grandson of the guy that started Reese's.
Jerry Reese?
I don't remember his first name, honestly. I wish I did. Tommy Reese.
Okay.
He sent a letter or a LinkedIn post accusing Hershey's of changing the recipe and basically like the equivalent of like watering down the recipe to the Reese's cups. And exactly like the chocolate's less chocolatey and the peanut butter's less peanut buttery. And then there was a whole backlash, outrage. So, everyone said, you know what? People, including me, said, I've been saying this for a while.
For real?
This is not tasted right. Some of these Reese's do not taste good. In fact, I stopped eating them altogether, and I used to be a fan, especially this time of year when the eggs would come out, because everyone knows that is the best Reese's shape.
Now, is it also for the pieces?
No, I think the Pieces recipe is a newer concoction and has remained peanut buttery, hard-coated, and delicious.
Damn.
I have not noticed a quality change in Pieces.
No, it's not Pieces. It's Pieces.
No, it's Reese's Pieces.
What are Pieces?
Reese's.
That's one step away from feces. This guy tagged everybody in the letter. Todd, you've built a career on the belief that a good story is the heart of any conversation?
This guy is in the chocolate industry circle. All right, which I'm very dialed into. Considered a kook.
You have chocolate friends?
Yeah. Well, no, I read a Darren Rovell. Yes, I do.
Wait, hold on now.
You've met Joel?
Yeah.
No, like Darren Rovell said, this guy tries this every year. And he's finally gotten traction on this, even though I think Darren Rovell was one of the people that put it out there.
He's on the food and confection beat, so that would make sense.
Apparently, his family's had an axe to grind since they sold Reese's.
Well, I mean, fair enough if they made the product crappier. But I saw a CBS story, Zaz, from this week, which now I'm like, this was on April 1st, so hopefully it wasn't a joke. And it said, Hershey said it will use classic recipes for all Reese's products starting next year, a change that comes after the grandson of Reese's founder criticized the company for shifting to cheaper ingredients. So
I'll tell you, I don't get stuff like this. Dude. Who was eating Reese's back, before they changed the recipe? Like, you know what? Let's change this. Everybody liked Reese's. Why did they
wanted
change
to
stuff?
Probably save money because they probably could. Yeah, exactly. It's just, you sell the company and then the quality goes down the shitter. That's how it works in this.
Why
country.
use good stuff when you can do cheap stuff and then make more money?
Part of the opposition stuff that I've seen is it's been changed for a very long time. Like with the information that he's using is dated because he's using original recipe stuff from when his family owned it, and he's just bitter that they sold it for what they did.
So I'm looking at his LinkedIn, right? And I'm looking at, this is how LinkedIn.
His name's Brad, by the way.
Yeah, Brad Reese. And most so you got, I've got just a smattering. You know how they have some suggested ones on the side. Reggie Grant, managing director at Alliance Networking. Lee Lipton, principal owner at Benny's on the Beach. Alexandria Barnett, international correspondent specializing in golf, boating, et cetera, right? Brad Reese, his thing is protecting Reese's brand integrity. That's his job. And then he signs off the letter with that, and then also grandson of H.B. Reese, parentheses, who invented Reese's, just in case you were lost on why this guy is opining here.
I mean, if your grandfather invented one of the most iconic products in America, and then you grew up one day and that product didn't taste good anymore, would you try to protect the family legacy? I mean, this is your last name.
I count my money. Because
I don't know if you got that much money. I think that may be part of the problem. That's what Mike is saying, at least.
They sold low?
That's part of the narrative around
That's what
this.
Mike's saying. I'm not saying that for the record.
Now that sucks. Imagine.
That's what my chocolate friends are telling me.
I went to college with the grandson of the Iams empire.
The dog food.
But they sold it. Like, they sold it generations ago to Purina. And so, like, his last name is Iams, but he's, like, just a regular guy. But everyone thinks, like, yo, is that Iams from the dog? Yeah, my family. Oh, my God. Like, and it's like, so when are we going on the chopper? I'm like, no, I drive a Corolla.
You can check Jess out, her weekly podcast with Mike Golick Jr., The Echoes.
Echoes.
Great job, Jess. Good to see you.
Oh, we didn't ask you. No. Jane Ivy's mom. Should she say something about what Jane Ivy's been saying?
Oh my God. I mean, I hope they're handling it in private. Seems like a issue.
I'm not.
Seems like something's going on.
Sure, there's an issue. Something's going on. I'm just saying, in her role as
if Notre Dame was still, if her team was still playing,
from a PR standpoint.
Yeah. Like, she's the head coach of Notre Dame, the second biggest Catholic institution.
If they were still playing, she would have had to have said something in one of her availabilities, right?
Well,
Jess?
I'm sure someone would have asked her a question about it.
Yeah.
My opinion on it, Amin, is that, well, here's my question to you first. Do you think he's having some sort of like mental health?
1,000%.
Okay. I agree with you. I think some people think he's not, and they're like, he's just speaking his mind. He should be allowed to do.
We call those people
I think he's
bigots.
right. I think he's having some sort of mental health issue, it seems like. And if that's the case, I respect that. I think she should handle that in private. But he's also like a grown adult man and has a wife and kids. So she's not like the only family member in his life, it seems. But certainly feel bad for everyone in that situation. I've been following his career for like a long time because, you know, he went to high school in South Bend and practiced with the Notre Dame women's basketball team when he was younger. And when he was drafted and when he was in college, he did interviews and talked about how he was really close with a lot of the players on the team and he looked up to them and they were role models to him. And so to me, like this whole thing, I know it's been kind of growing for a while, but it seems like it kind of came out of left field based on how I perceived him when he was in college and was doing a lot of interviews in media and was really had like super high trajectory from a basketball standpoint. So whole thing's been kind of weird and seems like something is not right there.
Again, The Echoes, her weekly Notre Dame podcast with Mike Golick Jr. Great job, Jess. Thanks.
Bye.
The right window treatments change everything. Your sleep, your privacy, the way every room looks and feels. At Blinds.com, we've spent 30 years making it surprisingly simple to get exactly what your home needs. We've covered over 25 million windows and have 50,000 five-star reviews to prove we deliver. Whether you DIY it or want a pro to handle everything from measure to install, we have you covered. Real design professionals, free samples, zero pressure. Right now, get up to 45% off site-wide, plus get a free professional measure at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions apply.